It's Talk with your host, Reggie B. Come on, let's all join in. Free your voice, it's your choice, alright here. Oh, simply stray talk.
Alright, girl, look, he just walked in. I'm gonna call you back later. Oh, we still want to set up that meeting, right? Alright, cool, perfect. See ya. Reggie, over here.
Hey, baby boo, what's up, Angelique?
Oh my god, that's disgusting. Please never address me like that again.
You and Melissa are just too much. Anyway, how have you been?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. Just working on maintaining a positive mindset in this crazy world.
Let me tell you, that can be a challenge.
Okay, now that we've gotten all the pleasantries out the way, I got a bone to pick with you, my friend.
With me? What did I do?
Alright, well, not necessarily with you, but I'm considering you guilty by association, and believe me, I'm really holding back my anger right now.
Okay, now I'm confused about all this.
Okay, well, let me enlighten you on a little situation, starting with your buddy, James.
James? You talking about our friend James from back in the day?
Are you playing stupid right now? Don't mess with me. You know damn well he was never my friend, especially after that encounter in the airport. Remember?
Okay, okay. All right, I'm with you now. What the hell does dude do now?
Let me tell you. You know that he broke up with Julia like a year ago, yeah?
Right, I remember that.
Okay, so Julia told me that he still calls her family.
Are you serious? I thought they didn't care for him that much. At all, actually.
No. Wait, that's not the worst of it. He even has the nerve to show up whenever the family has to get together. I mean, I always knew he was a creepo. I just can't stand him. Haven't I always told you that he was? He's a disrespectful, unfaithful creepo with bad breath. And did I mention that he's a psychotic creepo? Right.
I don't know. I don't know if he's playing games or if he thinks this is the way he's going to win her back. Now, I know some people do have a relationship with their ex-family, but that's because they got like a certain type bond or connection. He doesn't have any of that with them. As a matter of fact, they didn't even have kids together.
Exactly. So he's just being a jerk to bloody annoy her.
So what does her family say about all this?
Listen, I don't know, but I gotta assume they feel caught in the middle of all of this drama. I mean, just think about the tension in the room between Julia and James, the unfaithful creepo.
Exactly. That would be so awkward. You really don't like him, do you?
Listen, if James the creepo got hit by a car, I would be the first to pull him out on the street and then tie him to the nearest train tracks. I would hop in the train after pouring gas all over the bottom of the train and the tracks, light that bad boy on fire, run over him full speed playing the Jackson 5 song, Can You Feel It? So does that answer your question?
Angelique.
Yeah.
You know I got mad love for you. You're a beautiful, strong black woman. But I never knew you had some Tiffany from Chucky in you. Lord, I hope you never get mad at me.
Ugh, oh, shut up. Anyway, let's order this healthy but delicious dish called waffles with berry compote.
Now that sounds good. You know what? I want to try that.
Oh, hey, how's your schedule looking for the next couple of weeks? I was thinking we can get together with Melissa for some conversation and talk about how as friends we can be there for each other.
That's a great idea. We need to do that. Besides, my schedule is always open for the two of you. Hey, I'm going to go wash my hands real quick, and I'll be right back.
Okay, cool. I'll go ahead and place the order.
Hello, Miss.
Oh, Melissa, listen. I don't have much time, but he went to wash his hands. But he said his schedule is open, and he agrees we should get together and talk about how we can motivate each other. But you and I know he needs to share the fame with us.
Reggie,
James,
what's up, bro?
Shut up and listen. The whole thing about meeting Angelique to talk things out, forget all that. Shit ain't happening, okay? Shit ain't happening. And by the way, Do not get hit by a car, and if you do, make sure there are no railroad tracks nearby. And stop being a creepo, dude. Bro, come on. Look, I gotta go.
Welcome to another episode of the Simply Straight Talk Show with your host, Reggie Maddox. And today, we got some real talk on this thing called life just for you. Y'all know what we about to do. Let's start the show.
Hey everybody, and welcome back for another episode of the Simply Straight Talk Show. This is your host, Reggie Maddox. Man, today we are going to talk about relationship breakups. If you are done, you have broken up with your ex, should they still be in contact with your family? Now, I know that some people say, like, when you break up, you don't talk to my family. But some people say, hey, it's cool. You know, if you still want to keep in contact, go for it. But how do you feel about it? If you break up with somebody, let's say it's been like 6 months, a year, should that person still be in contact with your family? Do you think so? Is it okay? Are you okay with it? Now, everybody's going to see or probably feel a little different about this. People going to have different opinions. And of course, a lot of it's going to depend on how the relationship ended, why the relationship ended. But do you feel it's necessary? Do you feel it's of value to have your ex still in communication with your family? Now, you know, we understand that there could be some bonds developed depending on how long the relationship went. And maybe they kind of, your mom or pops or sister, brother thought they was cool. And, you know, it just kind of like, hey, it was a cool friendship. But then when the relationship ended, that it kept going. But you don't like the person. You don't want to be around the person. But they popping up. They're showing up. See, breakups are always, well, let's just say this. Breakups always come with a lot of mixed emotions and conflicts on certain occasions, mostly conflicts. But, you know, what happens when your relationship ends and your ex is still hanging out, attending family events, and frequently talking to your family members? Now, throughout my life, I have heard different views of how people handle this situation. Some people say, yeah, I still talk to my ex's family. Some people said, no, I don't. You know, now, I did know a lady years ago that, you know, she dated a guy, but wanted her ex to be friends with that guy. But she also wanted her ex to still be friends with her family. So to me, that's like a little too much history. I'm not comfortable with that. I couldn't have did that myself, but hey, everybody got their own way of doing things and dealing with breakups and all that type stuff. But if there's one thing that I know that I need personally after a breakup, and that's some time to reboot and figure things out, especially if the relationship did not end on good terms. Because I'm trying to figure out, like, dang, you know, because, you know, when you break up, you say all kind of crazy stuff to each other. Like, what part of that stuff was true? What part was a lie? You know, did I really contribute that much? Was I like 10% of the breakup or 90% of the breakup? You know, you go through those little spells. Don't fake like you don't, you do. But anyway, some folks heal better when they can maintain some kind of friendship with their ex. Me personally, when we're done, we're done. I don't see no point in maintaining the friendship. Like, when we're done, we're just done. It don't mean I can't speak or say hi in passing, but that's truly what it will be. Like, if we're passing on the same side of the street, you say hi, and I say, you say hi, I'm going to say hi, but I'm still going to be walking. You know, I just don't see no point of hanging out and doing get-togethers and all that. But anyway, we're talking about your ex trying to talk to your family. Let me stay on track here. So now there are other people who need at least a few months to kind of imagine and just kind of get that person out of their mind and just try to bring themselves to the point where that person did not even exist to them, because they're trying to give their heart room to heal. So as you can imagine, a situation where your ex still talks to your family members, it can pretty much be a nightmare in some cases. Unfortunately, that can happen with breakups. But the question is why? Why after a breakup do exes feel compelled to keep that line of communication open? Is there a good reason for them to retain a separate relationship with the people who are nearest and dearest to you? Or do you think they have ulterior motives? If you think your ex is keeping in touch with your family, why? If you have broken up, okay, you're not dating, you don't have no connections, why do you think they're keeping in touch? Do you think that they have ulterior motives for keeping in touch with your family? But I tell you what, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to share with you right now some reasons I think a person may decide to keep in touch with their ex-family. Okay? Now, here's some reasons. This is me personally. This is what I feel. Maybe they were friends, like, say, from childhood. Like, say if you dated somebody who knew your family, from growing up, okay? And they had a prior relationship with your family. Now, if you got into a relationship with that person and y'all broke up, do you say you're no longer allowed to be in contact with my family? Do you throw away that maybe the years that you knew them, that they knew your family? Because you do have that in some cases where a person can grow up in a neighborhood and, you grew up with each other's family. Then maybe the boy or girl, you get to know each other. You actually start dating, you get married, you get in a relationship or dating, whatever, and you break up. But you knew the family before the relationship actually took place. So that could be one reason I can kind of see, staying in touch with the family. Another reason is simply they want the person back. They want the person back. And they think by staying in contact with the family, that maybe somehow they can kind of maneuver their way back in. Or they do not want to look like the bad person in the family. You know what I'm saying? Like you broke up, but they want to make themselves look good. Like, listen, we broke up, but it wasn't my fault. I did my best. I want to share my side with you. I know it's your sister or your brother or your father or your daughter, or son, but, I'm the ex and I just want to share my side of the story over theirs. So you'll get that sometime, man. Another thing is during the relationship, they could have possibly developed a bond with your family. Like, because when I was married, she had two brother-in-laws that I was really cool with. I was really cool with them, and we always enjoyed hanging out together. I mean, we were like, listen, when we got together, it was just cool. I mean, it was just fun. Put it like that. It was fun. Even when they used to talk on the phone, it would always be like, hey, Reggie coming down? Eric coming down? We always had that type of bond. But when the relationship ended, so did the friendship. So, now another reason, this is a reason I can't honestly say I can kind of see keeping in contact with the family, but there's a big asterisk by that. And that's if kids are involved. If you had kids during the relationship, I can kind of see keeping in contact with the family, but primarily that communication needs to be with the mother, between the mother and father. Bringing the family into that, if you are, if the mother or father is paying child support, if the mother and father has visitation rights, that should be coordinated through the mother and father, the children. The family shouldn't have to be drugged into that. So I can kind of see that, though. I really can. So I can kind of see, if there's kids involved, then maybe some of the other family members. But that's a big maybe to me now that I really think about it. I really do. But I guess it depends on the relationship. When you broke up, was it cool or just totally disastrous? Next, if your ex lives far from their family or maybe from another country, they may still feel like your family is the only family they got, the only friends they got. or if that family is still maybe giving them some emotional or financial support, they may still keep in contact with your family. Another reason is, now this is kind of Tyler Perry-ish, but it's possible the ex may have been romantically involved with someone else in your family. I've heard of women who, were with a guy and slept with the guy's brother or cousin. I've heard of men who slept with a girl's sister or cousin, So it's possible. It's possible that ex may have had some type of romantic involvement with somebody in your family and don't want to let it go. It's true. It happens. It happens. I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. But it really does happen. Now, those are 6 reasons that an ex could still keep in contact with your family. Now, I'm just saying that those are some reasons I think. I'm not saying that they're validated. I'm not saying that those are, absolute. These are good reasons why. Those are some reasons, or you can call them excuses, that your ex may use to try to keep in contact with your family. Now, like I said, I'm not a big fan of keeping in contact with my past. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you can't be cordial. I'm not saying you can't say hello. But if we are broken up, I just don't see myself trying to hang out with your family. I don't see myself, trying to, come over for dinner or be at your family functions or hang out. I just don't see the need for that. I just don't see the need. But like I said, people do things for whatever reason, they do them. But let's look at the flip side of this now. I want to tell you some reasons why I think that having your ex stay in contact with your family, or an ex staying in contact with the family, can be disastrous. And this is the point to where it can get really nasty. Because first is bad intentions. The ex could be attempting to get revenge or cause strife between family members, especially if they know that you have a close bond with a specific person or more in the family. They may exaggerate situations or repeat confidential information you shared about family members during a relationship. You have to think about that. When a person feels like they're scorned, they're an ex, they're upset, you know what I'm saying? You got some people that can just move on, but then you have those people that feel like, you know what? I'm going to keep in contact with the family. She told me this. She told me that. He told me this. He told me that. At nighttime when you laying down when you was with the person, you was having that little pillow talk. You're like, oh yeah, my brother did such and such and such and such, or my sister did such and such and such and such. Oh, she was so stupid. Da 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 da. When you have those pillow talk conversations that's supposed to be private between you and that person, when y'all break up, a lot of times that confidentiality rule is out the window. And if they can use that to hurt you, they will stay in contact with a family member. And most likely they're going to try to reach out to that family member that you talked about, that you spoke about. The information you told them about that person that may be embarrassing or something that they didn't want anybody else to know, they're going to try to reach out to them because you know what? They want to be able to tell them exactly what you said to cause a rift. They will do that. So sometimes a person will stay friends with your family, and it's not even trying to stay friends. They just want to be in contact because they have the ill intent to cause problems. So that's why you have to be careful and mindful that when you break up with somebody, if you know this person is a very vindictive person or a very jealous person or the type of person that's just hateful, they will go back and try to tell your family lies. They will go back and try to cause problems between you and your family. So you have to be mindful of that. You have to think about that. Now, we're going to take a little break, And I'm going to tell you some more reasons I think an ex stand in touch with your family can be disastrous. But you are listening to the Simply Straight Talk Show. And before we take our little break, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you for joining us. And always know that we're going to try to bring you the best topics and the best conversations. And yes, I did get the message about the Instagram competition. So I'm looking into that. I'm going to see what I can do. But we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back with After the Breakup, should your ex still communicate with your family? Y'all stay with us.
Free your mind, free your voice right here on Simply Straight Talk.
Hey, are you looking for some great music, upbeat and with a positive voice? Well, the song I Stand With You is exactly what you need. This timeless song has a pop version sung by Audrey Carmel. And a reggae version sung by General Steele, now known as Revelation.
Now I know some days you may feel blue, Lord. Trust in your greatness to see you through.
These songs are now available on iTunes and other digital platforms for download. Don't miss out. Get your copy today.
Give life your best and
Like what you hear so far? Make sure you never miss a show by clicking the subscribe button now. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. Thank you for your support. Now back to the show.
All right, Simply Straight Talk family, we are back. And today we're talking about we broke up. Stop calling my family. We're asking the question, should your ex still be in contact with your family after the breakup? Now, when we left off, we was talking about reasons why your ex staying in contact with your family can be disastrous. And we said they got bad intentions. Now, the next thing we want to talk about is keeping tabs. That's right. Simply put, they don't care about your family. They just want to know what's going on with you. Who you dating? Where you staying? If you're doing better. What do you say about them? Now, this is information that they can use against you in a negative way now, okay? Because they're trying to find out stuff about you. You know, if you're buying a house or trying to get a loan or get a new job, they'll find out a way to screw it up for you. So that's why they keep in tabs. Now, the real danger of this is they probably want you back. And you're with somebody else and you're happy, your life is going good, or you're just doing better. You're just a happy person. You're not broken up and miserable like they want you to be. So they're going to use this as a weapon to them. And here, it's not about them trying to do anything between you and your family. They're not going after your family. They're just using your family for information because this is something personal that they want to do against you. So they're keeping tabs. They're trying to get information. Now, it could be your family. It may also extend to like your best friend or people they know that you talk to. That is why I say, me personally, I told y'all in the beginning of the show, I am simply not a fan of, exes being in contact with the family. And the next reason I'm going to list for you is going to really explain why I personally believe that. But you do have to be careful because some people, they want to keep tabs with you. You broke up, they may not be doing so well. They may not be having as much luck. But, sometimes it happens when you break up with somebody, your life just changes for the better. All of a sudden, your finances start to improve. You're happy. You know what I'm saying? You might have been a little discouraged, or disappointed about the breakup, but your life just changed for the better. You met somebody who appreciates you and, you're just having a better life. You're happy and they can't stand it. So they're keeping tabs to find out a way they can destroy all that. But here's the reason that I really think families need to be really careful about allowing an ex, to have too much input and to be too active after a breakup. Loyalty and trust. I think you will be surprised at how many families are broken these days. Fathers and sons not talking for years, mothers and daughters not speaking for years. In some cases, people will go to their grave without speaking to a family member or the entire family for over 10, 15, or 20 years. If the relationship ends on bad terms, it can create a family dynamic of choosing sides. Either you're with the immediate family member or you're with the in-law who is now an ex. For instance, if your sister-in-law cheated on your brother, after they break up, you're hanging out and talking with her. It can create distrust because that person, although you may see it as just being innocent, we were always cool, they may be using that as a way to annoy you, as a way to, kind of get under his skin and cause problems. So he's now thinking that, dang, my family's chosen her side. Or like, dang, my family's chosen his side. And it creates distrust and loyalty. Because you may notice that person may stop telling you secrets. They may stop confiding in the family members. So you have to be careful because it can create, loyalty and trust issues when an ex has so much input or is very active in your life with your family members. The next reason, okay, and this is the plain out truth, it's just damn awkward, okay? It's just awkward. No matter what type of gathering it may be, okay, it could be, if a couple is broken up on bad terms and sometimes on good terms now, but seeing an ex can change the mood of a person faster than the speed of light. I mean, this counts for funerals, picnics, reunions, birthday parties, weddings, etc. You must understand, people can break up and be on good terms, but it doesn't mean that they want to see each other outside of cordially passing each other. To keep it 100, some people will show up just to ruin your mood. Just to ruin your mood. It could be something to where the guy has met a new woman and they're happy. Although the other woman cheated on him, she's wants to show up just to ruin his mood. Just to go meet the other woman. Just to throw in her face who she is. And sometimes guys will do the same thing. So you have to be careful about that because it creates awkward moments. Especially when you're seeing your sister, your brother, and their ex walk in the room, and you can notice there's a change in their personality. There's a change in how they're behaving. It's like they just want to get out. You got to be careful about that. But listen, with this, all this drama and all this stuff coming about, there has to be some conversations. So we got to talk about solutions. Okay. Now, the problem is you may say, well, these are simple solutions. Yes. Any solution to a problem can be simple, but it's not simple if you're not acting on it. If you're not actually trying to set something up to be a solution rather than to keep it as a problem. First off, conversations. This is not about just having a conversation with your ex. It will also require you to have a conversation with your family. Now, I'm talking to the person whose ex is keeping in contact with your family. You got to have a conversation with your ex, and you got to have a conversation with your family. This may mean disclosing your feelings about the breakup and the relationship, especially if the family liked your ex. You need to tell them if you're uncomfortable with her being around or others actively maintain a relationship with your ex. Remember, you are speaking with adults, and ultimately now they can decide for themselves. Now, if there are kids involved in the situation, it's a little tricky. The person can drop them off, whatever, and all that type stuff. But you and the ex must do the same thing to come to an understanding about if either you are going to continue to communicate with the other person's family. If you're against it, hope they will say, okay, we don't want to contact with them anymore. We don't want to get involved. He or she can just go her way. You're our brother, sister, cousin, whatever. This is a family thing. But you may get those family members who, be like, well, that's between y'all. We ain't got nothing to do with it. That goes back to that loyalty and trust thing. Now, families. I want to talk to the families real quick. Families, you have to be up front. And this point right here is all on the families. The family needs to determine how they're going to handle situations such as an ex using them to come to events, wanting to hang out. And they know that person's presence is going to cause tension. Okay? You know that their presence is going to cause tension. You have to let them know if you're uncomfortable or not. Consider if this will cause a problem for you and your actual family member. Okay? Family members have to be mindful that a scorned person may try to destroy the family from within. So the family member may have to shut the ex down or flat out say, hey, I wish you the best, but let's all take a break from now. Now, some, family may embrace the ex still, especially if they feel that they were done wrong. But that's why I say the emotions and how the conflict comes in. Someone has to be the bigger person and just say, listen, it's not right. I don't feel comfortable. It's nothing against you, but this is my brother, my sister, my cousin. The family members may have to set that boundary line and say, listen, we can't do this because it's causing too much of a problem. My brother, sister, whatever, doesn't like the situation and it's affecting the family as a whole. And that's what you got to look at. Is it affecting the whole dynamic of the family? Can the family no longer get together? Or when that person walks in a room and the ex walks in a room, you just feel the whole vibe change. You got to be mindful of stuff like that. And here's the next thing. And this applies to the ex and also, to the couple that broke up. All right. Is it worth it? Sometimes emotions can rule over reasoning, especially in regards to matters of the heart. A person may just want to maintain the friendship with the family, or they may just want to go, they just may want to get under your skin. How you respond will determine a lot about the situation, how the situation plays out. If a person knows they can fill you with negative energy by being in your presence, then that's what they're going to do. But acting out based on old emotions can also paint you as being the bad guy or the bad person, even if they were in the wrong. So you have to be mindful. You in other words, you basically got to grow up. You got to grow up. Now, it don't mean that you got to be mean and nasty and ignore the other person's family or ignore the ex, but it does mean that you have to show some accountability and responsibility in understanding the bigger picture. It's cool to say, hey, listen, if I see you, we can speak. It's all good. But as far as you attending family gatherings, I'm sorry, I just don't think that's a good idea. You have to set those boundaries. You have to ask yourself, is it worth it for me to keep trying to communicate and talk to this person's family, knowing that they can't stand me, I can barely stand them? Is causing all that drama really worth it when you can spend that time moving on with your life and doing something more progressive, actually building your life, recouping and healing? But just communicating with somebody's family just to cause drama, is it really worth it? Is it really worth it? Because if your intent to get them back, it's not going to work. If your intent is to communicate with his family just so you can stand and know to hopefully wiggle your way back in, you're most likely going to push them away. So you got to do that. You got to remember that. You know what I'm saying? You got to be careful about that. The only way to solve this right here is to have the conversations. Family got to have the conversations. The ex and when the couple that broke up, you got to have that conversation. But you also got to have the conversation with your family about your ex. You got to have those conversations. And remember, it's for the best interest of all. Hey guys, we're about to take a little break because it's that time. But we'll be right back with the final thoughts on today's show.
Hey, Simply Straight Talk family. Your host, Reggie, will be right back. So don't you dare touch that dial.
RM Viaging is a company based on life's journey and sharing life lessons with the world in the form of laughter and reflection. inspiring people to go after their dreams and not giving up on life. RM Viaging creates inspirational music and motivational speeches designed to motivate all age groups. Visit our website at www.rmviaging.com to hear samples of our music. You will also find motivational articles on our blog page titled New Life, New Mind Blog. We also have a weekly podcast hosted by Reggie called Simply Straight Talk, all on our website at www.rmviaging.com.
You're listening to the Simply Straight Talk Show, bringing you the best conversation on your morning, afternoon, and primetime drive.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the final thoughts of today's show. Today we talked about we broke up, stop calling my family. What happens when you end a relationship and your ex still insists on communicating with your family? Now, during the show, we discussed some reasons that a person may feel that it's okay for them to keep in contact with your family. But we also gave some reasons as to why. Why it can be, disastrous to have an ex who's still in communication with your family. And the solution is really simple. We said those conversations have to be had with the ex and with the family members. Now, so many families are torn apart today over relationships that people have had with other people. And oftentimes, a family can have really tight bonds until an in-law comes in and just creates havoc throughout the family tree. You have to be mindful about this, and you have to ask yourself, is it worth it? We understand that when you go through a breakup, there's going to be hurt. There's going to be some mixed emotions. There's going to be some sadness, some depression, some guilt, some remorse. There's going to be some feelings of, I was done wrong, I want to get them back, or I need to clarify my side of the story. I want people to understand that it wasn't me, it was him, it was her. She did this, he did that. The key thing is the relationship is over. And you have to come to terms that when a relationship ends, there are things you're going to have to let go. And sometimes letting go will have to be some of the people that you may have connected with, specifically that person's family. Now, it may not be that you hate them or they hate you. It could just be that the situation right now is just not ready for the two of you to have that joint, ties to certain people. And if you know that your presence causes a problem when you go to, somebody's weddings or funerals, or it could be his mother's birthday, or it could be his sister's birthday, or it could be a family picnic, her father's birthday, her mother's birthday. If you know that your presence is going to cause tension, why would you bother showing up? What is the absolute purpose of you showing up? The relationship is over. It's over. And yes, you may feel like I care about, his or her parents or his or her nieces and nephews, but you have to understand that you may have to be the bigger person if you realize that your presence is creating a family environment that's just toxic. And sometimes, you being the ex can create a toxic environment because families can become split. They can become divided where they're fighting over, yeah, she should be able to come. Yeah, he should be able to come. And other people are like, no, that's our brother. That's our sister. That's going to be awkward. Be respectful. Be courteous. And most of all, be ready to let yourself heal. Even if that means moving on, not just from the person, but from the people that you may have known. Give it some time. Wait 6, 7 months, a year. Give it some time for everything to die down. Get your life together, get your heart together, and move on. All right, that's it for today's show, man. I appreciate y'all checking us out. And don't forget, tune in next Friday for another episode of the Simplest Straight Talk Show.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Simply Straight Talk podcast. Make sure you visit our website at rmviagem.com, where you can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Libsyn, SoundCloud, or Spotify, so you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, if you found value in the show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes, or if you'd simply tell a friend about the show, that will help us out too. Thank you, and see you next week.